Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back. This is a sample video for our latest podcast episode, number 98, which is a news desk response.
There are a number of news articles going around in the media at the moment regarding COVID-19 and animal agriculture, and we share our thoughts on some of them.
Some of those headlines, I tell you what, very frustrating. If you'd like to listen to the full podcast episode, you can join us on Patreon. It's linked below in the description under this video.
Happy watching and listening.
All right, last article we're responding to today, and do we save the best for last or the worst for last?
It's the worst for last. Yeah, this is not Vanessa Williams' song.
This is extraordinary. Like, sometimes I read this stuff and I'm like, are these people serious? Did they honestly wake up in the morning, look at themselves in the mirror and go, I think this is a good idea, I'm going to publish this?
Look,
What is going on?
This can be epitomised, I think, by Upton Sinclair's quote.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get a person to understand something when their salary depends on them not understanding it.
Yeah.
So this next article is written by Kay Johnson Smith, who is the president and CEO of the Animal Agriculture Alliance, a non-profit working to bridge the communication gap between farm and fork. So I've interpreted that as an animal rights activist, that she is going around with a van screening Dominion to bridge that gap between farm and fork, showing people that the middle step that the industry won't show consumers involves electrical or gas stunning or a captive bolt gun to the skull and stabbing animals in the throats, chopping their heads off and hacking their bodies up into pieces before they're packaged into neatly plastic wrapped packs and sold on supermarket shelves.
Because that's the middle step between the farm and the fork.
So if she's not doing that, then she's not bridging the communication gap. She is widening the communication gap.
She's widening something in my brain that makes it want to explode.
Yeah.
Headline reads,
Don't be fooled by animal rights groups. COVID-19 has nothing to do with animal agriculture.
Can we just pause for a moment and take that in? Yeah. Because how many times have you heard experts talking about zoonotic diseases? I don't think they're coming from an animal rights group. They're simply specialists in their field of zoonotic diseases, and COVID-19 is a zoonotic disease.
Everyone in the world is aware that the disease originated from the wet market in Wuhan.
Now, sure, there's controversy over that. There's speculation. It's not 100% sure. There's so many theories, and we're not here to say one way or another. That's not the issue here. What we do know is that there is a very high probability that animals were involved in this disease spreading to humans. Okay, so I don't want to get into all the different theories, but I think I'll just leave it at that.
What we do know is that the farms in which we keep these animals, whether they be at a wet market where they're captured from the wild and brought to this market, or whether they're factory farms in Western countries, are breeding grounds for diseases like the coronaviruses and others. Yeah. We know that for a fact. Taking advantage of people when they are most vulnerable is a disgrace. But that's just what animal rights activists are doing during this COVID-19 pandemic.
I find that extraordinary because the animal agriculture industry, its ethos is basically taking advantage of people that are most vulnerable.
Yep.
That is what is the disgrace. They take advantage of people and animals and the environment. They just absolutely destroy any kind of normality, anything that's decent. Imagine taking baby animals, ripping them away from their mothers, murdering them, and then selling that to people under the guise of, you need it, it's healthy, and it's a great sustainable way to live, and all this propaganda and garbage that comes out of the industry's mouth. How is that not taking advantage of people?
Exactly.
People trust when governments tell us to eat something. Here's the food guide, and it has meat, dairy, and eggs on the food guide. We trust that. We give it to ourselves and to our children. And then what happens? We learn, oh, our leading causes of death, like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, many forms of cancer, etc., come from eating animals.
But right away, they're trying to make people, the general reader, out to be the victim, and animal rights activists out to be the villain and the perpetrator and the oppressor. Activists frequently tout modern animal housing as a key player in disease spread.
Animal housing.
Like they're in hotels now is the inference there. These euphemisms.
It's hell. It's a cage in hell. I just wish that people could put themselves in the victim's position.
And they just have to watch Dominion or Land of Hope and Glory or Earthlings, and you will see that these animals aren't housed in hotels. But the opposite is true. If anything, modern agriculture helps prevent infectious disease outbreaks by not allowing our domestic animals contact with environment contaminated by wild species of animals such as surface water or other environmental contaminants, said Dr. Dan Thompson, chair of the Department of Animal Science at Iowa State University and former professor of production medicine and epidemiology at Kansas State University.
No, I wait, just back it up. Let's just take this in. He's actually saying that modern animal agriculture helps prevent infectious disease outbreaks. I've never heard anything so insane. Is he for real?
So where did we get SARS and MERS and swine flu and avian influenza and mad cow disease if it wasn't from modern agriculture? I mean,
I don't understand. So he's saying because